together strategizing about our new future, some of the interesting things we're trying to build in terms of products, and how we are transitioning into building something that has a lot more scale. And I thought it would be interesting for the team to meet you and for you to probably just guide us through what a new future would look like and what we should consider as emerging leaders in the organization. And probably want to have an interactive session, so there'll be a microphone going around in case there are any questions, but we'll let you lead the way.
Okay, wonderful. I wanted to prepare a short speech, but I couldn't, so I prepared a long one. Hi, everybody. Hello, everybody. Let me just say right off the bat, what an honor it is to be present at this pivotal moment in your company's history, where you're experiencing a massive growth and now preparing to go beyond your original mission. So I mean it when I say, what a treat it is to be here with you today. Thank you, Michael, for inviting me. For those that don't know me, my name is Saqib Rasool, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Concevian. We are a unique growth platform for changemakers, founded in the belief that when a handful of people come together, locate a big societal breakdown, and commit themselves to something bigger than their personal needs, then nothing stands in the way of them building new worlds and changing history. I believe that I have the privilege of talking to one such group of people today. As a brief background, I was born and raised in Pakistan, and for the last 25 years, I have lived in the US, currently residing in Seattle, Washington. I have lived 2 decades of highly rewarding entrepreneurial career, and now my mission is to help founders and their teams succeed in their missions and build better worlds. So congratulations on your impressive growth and recent acquisition. As you already know, such progress opens doors to new opportunities, but with it comes unprecedented challenges. Now, in this conversation today, my purpose is not to advise you on the tactical and strategic aspects of your business, like reconfiguration of roles and responsibilities and rearticulation of your offers, or tell you about your niche and market trends. As being the experts in your domains, you are already doing a marvelous job of navigating all this. The job that I want to do today is to orient you to some pitfalls and mistakes founders and their teams make in the process of scaling startups, and give you some new maps to think with. I think the question you're asking now is, how do we build a new future? And what are the design principles that would lead to success and transformation of commerce and banking across Africa? Today, I want to talk to you about 4 aspects of your business that are not so often talked about, and in my experience and perspective, become very costly to ignore. These 4 aspects are: 1, dignity; 2, respect; 3, listening; and 4, innovation and how they tie together. So let's get into it, shall we? All right. The first aspect I want to talk to you about is the mission of your company. I'm confident that you're already thinking about becoming a platform of choice for payments and commerce for over 1 billion people in Africa and beyond. That is wonderful. And I'm confident from my conversations with Michael that you are in the right direction. Alongside that, one of the most important things you can do right now, in my opinion, is to design a deeper spiritual and ethical mission of the company that would give each of you a reason to get out of bed every morning, give it all that you got every day, and go to bed each night being fulfilled. And that your fulfillment will not come from when the company goes public or generate massive amounts of cash, but at the end of each day, knowing that you have given all that you got to something bigger than yourself. At this time, I recommend that you must invent a mission that goes beyond the need to make money, build a career, or building a name for yourself. This spiritual and ethical mission of the company gives your people a reason to belong to this place and gives your customer a reason for being loyal to you, as they will experience in this mission each interaction with your people and your products and services. I have witnessed firsthand the potency of such a profound company mission. You see, at Concevian, we see entrepreneurship as a public service, and we believe that awakened entrepreneurs who build this new, much needed services are the patron saints of this new dynamic era. We have declared our spiritual mission to help such founders and their teams with everything that we got. Now, in the last 2 years, more than once, we have been at junctures when we couldn't make payroll and had financial hiccups due to twists and turns in the market economy and venture funding. And when, in the absence of full payroll, when we asked some of our people to leave for better opportunity and even offered them to introduce to the right opportunities, they refused to do so and fought with me to let them stay and let them continue. This is the kind of loyalty money cannot buy. And it is not due to their naivete or force of personality. No, but due to a deep nourishment that comes from serving others whom you have committed to serve. As people who are becoming leaders in the financial and commerce industries in Africa, it is now your core job to discover and declare this mission for yourself. So I propose that you consider for your company that mission to be a mission of dignity. And I suspect that some of you already have this mission of dignity, and maybe to some of you it has been clear, and to some it has been hidden but felt at a deeper level. And maybe now it is time to rediscover it and declare your company's spiritual and ethical mission in conversations with each other. You see that the company name Lipa Later isn't merely a tagline. It is a promise. By offering customers a chance to acquire now and pay later, you provide them with immediate dignity, and that has tremendous value. Such a model isn't about the convenience of delayed payment. It is about giving your customers dignity, which is about acknowledging their potential to keep their word and in turn create further value. This dignity helps your customers create new futures, and that is not a small thing. As you grow your products, services, and platforms, I invite you to openly declare an ethical mission grounded in dignity and keep it at the center of everything you do for your people and your customers. Okay, the second aspects of your business, the second dimension of your business that I want to talk to you about today is the core value of respect. And respect is not a matter of simply being nice to people. Respect is a highly practical matter. As you grow in response to constantly changing world, at times that seems headed towards chaos, you'll be faced with maintaining morale in the middle of waves of resignation. When people could choose bigger paychecks elsewhere, how will you foster loyalty? How do you instill a culture of persistent innovation, ensuring everyone feels empowered to contribute? The answer lies in the value of respect. And respect is not just about blindly agreeing with each other. No, respect is about being willing to listen to ideas very different from your ideas. Respect is about giving people the same trust and loyalty that you want from them. Respect is about giving people autonomy and freedom to do their jobs without micromanaging them or expecting that your orders will be followed without question. Now, the third and fourth aspects that really make or break your business are listening and innovation, and how your spiritual mission of dignity and the core value of respect tie into it. You see, not too long ago, people thought that new futures are built with smart planning and flawless execution, right? Many of you know this, that if you want to be successful, you should do really smart planning and flawless execution. Well, those principles held well in the industrialized era that's behind us, when we saw an unprecedented stability in our economic structures and modes of value creation in the last 70 years or so. That whole model has gone away for many reasons. First of all, environments and markets are changing all too quickly. So your perfect plans and strategies in the face of constant change are mostly useless. What you imagine to be the right thing to do today, soon it is not the right thing to do. So you need the ability to be dynamic. Second, people today are demanding more autonomy, and autonomous action requires greater trust. Trust from their bosses and trust from each other. These two waves can either drown you or take you all the way to the top. To navigate this powerfully, you need to change the way how you manage your people. That's how you foster innovation. How do you foster collaboration and trust? If your mindset is that how you're going to squeeze the most out of your people are also gonna get very smart and respond in kind. If your mindset is how you are going to squeeze the most out of your customers are going to have zero loyalty to you. So if you want loyalty from your people and your customers, you must be willing to offer them the same. That loyalty is not being blindly trapped in a relationship, but it comes from deep care that is about the dignity of the other person. Look, you're not really in the money business. You're not really in the technology business. If you want to build a new future, you have to be in the dignity business. What is increasingly going missing from many people's lives in this new era, that there is no dignity. So if you can offer people a dignified way, all the way from your products to your services, to the way you communicate, to the way you handle disputes, that you treat human beings as human beings, if you can offer this, your people will be willing to do anything for you. They will be willing to take less pay, and they will be willing to go through tough times because they know that you are the one person and you are the one company that cares about them, that actually gives a damn about them. You see, my dears, building a new future is not so much about coming up with perfect visions and perfect plans. Building a new future is about listening very carefully to your people and your customers. The same approach goes for your internal people, that also goes for your external markets. When you listen very carefully to your people, you will find out where they are dissatisfied, and the kind of dissatisfaction that matters is not the kind of dissatisfaction they say out loud. It is the kind of dissatisfaction they think no one is listening to, or no one has the ability to listen to. So as leaders, you have to grow the capacity to listen to dissatisfaction that is hidden, that people are resigned about. And it often shows up in sentences like, well, everybody knows that, and that's just how it is. When you begin to hear, everybody knows that, and that's just how it is, that right there is your opportunity for innovation. That's your opportunity to listen to something that no one else is willing to listen to. When you listen to something like that, that no one is willing to listen to, then everybody knows that, and that's just the way it is, and that's just the way it's been, and that's just the way it's going to be, you begin to have a real start point for real innovation. You see, real innovation always shows up first as a deep resignation. Listening to deep resignation is not easy, because if there is a deep resignation, you're most likely are also infected with it, and you likely don't see it. You already got formulas in your head about how to manage your people and your customers, how to motivate them, how to manipulate their psychology, how to manipulate the psychology of your customers, of your juniors. But you know what? People are catching on. People don't want their psychology manipulated. So this listening requires that you give up the attempts to immediately manipulate their psychology and you begin to pay attention to your resignations and their complaints. That, as leaders, you grow the capacity to listen to what no one wants to listen to. You begin to listen to your own resignation, where in your business you think that's just the way things are and things will never change. You see, in our normal management practices, we tend to live by truisms that everybody knows. What is the example? For example, everybody knows that employees are greedy and they will flock to the highest paying employer, right? And if you want the best people, you have to pay them the best money, right? Maybe so in most normal cases. But these truisms are constantly negated by revolutionary leaders in politics, in business, and every domain of life. If you pick an example of any revolutionary leader, you will see that they don't take these truisms that everybody knows to be true. They call to the best side of human nature. They invest in their spiritual missions. In every product, every mission, every war, every fight, there is a deep spiritual mission that gives meaning to life. You see, here is the nutshell. You are in the meaning-giving business. You give meaning to the lives of your customers by bringing them things they cannot afford right away. Maybe now, because of you, they can afford, and maybe now they can think of new ideas and creating value. So you bring dignity to them. You bring dignity to your people. You may not be able to pay them the highest, but if you treat them with such respect that they are not treated anywhere else, then they will not leave you for the highest bidder. So if you want your people to give you loyalty, you have to give them respect. And there are many ways to give respect. Money is not the only way you respect them. You respect each other by not trying to hide things from each other, by not trying to manipulate each other, and you don't try to play games with them. Here is a weird idea for you as my gift. And if you like it, you're welcome to it. You don't need a human resources department. You need a human respect department. You know, it may be a good idea to rename your human resources department as a human respect department. Okay, now recap. To foster innovation, you must develop the capacity and resilience to listen to disagreements and ideas very different from yours. And this requires serious leadership capacity, that you learn to listen to something that you disagree with that requires serious leadership capacity. Serious capacity of leadership like this is listening to diversity of opinions. And then when you make a decision, you honor, even though when you're not gonna agree what your people are saying and what your customers want you to do, explain your reasons to them. When you explain your reasons to them, you treat them with honor and respect that say, listen, we're not gonna do what you said we are gonna do, what you want me to do, but here is why. And we just want to let you know because we respect you, we honor you, and we appreciate you being with us. Whether that's your employees or that's your customer, your approach is exactly the same. When you begin to behave like this, you naturally become market leader. The best of the best flock to you. Even though your salary may not be the best of the best, when people go home, they don't feel like they have been burnt out. You see, people don't get burnt out because they work too much or they get burned out. People get burned out because they feel like losers. If your culture makes your people and your customer feel like losers, you will eventually lose the game, and eventual losers will be you. You don't want to be that. You don't want to be eventual loser, and you want to win the game. You have to make sure that your people feel like winners. Your people must feel like they're making an important contribution to your work, to the work they have joined in your spiritual mission and in your deep ethical mission to bring dignity to billions of people in Africa? What if this was your company's mission to bring dignity to billion people in Africa, to billion people in Asia, to billion people across the rest of the continents in Europe and America and India? If you're bringing dignity and respect to your people as a leader, you can succeed in any game, in any domain. You see, your real challenge is not merely in the logistics, but in the heart and spirit of your mission and values. It is about ensuring that every interaction, product, or service is deeply rooted in respecting and uplifting human dignity. If you can provide a dignified experience at every touch point, your customers and employees will stand by you, even in toughest times. To truly innovate, to create an environment where your team feels empowered and supported instead of micromanaging, serve as a guide, clear obstacles from their path, embrace differing opinions, and encourage open dialogue. Ensure that decisions, whether they align with popular opinions or not, are communicated authentically. In the absence of authentic and open communications, it is all too easy to assume bad intentions from each other and fall to the moods of silent resentment towards each other. This kills innovation. Forceful implementation of ideas kill innovation. In conclusion, if you wish to lead the market and truly make a mark, it is essential to ensure that everyone feels involved, feels valued, respected, and integral to the journey. Innovation will naturally follow when everyone feels they're part of something larger than themselves, working towards a mission that isn't about the business, but about enriching human experience and providing dignity. Innovation is not bred in boardrooms with flowcharts and projections. Real innovation arises when committed people confront what seems to be an impossible challenge. Lastly, remember, financialization without dignity is just body without soul waiting to die. But when dignity becomes the soul and purpose of money, new empires emerge out of nowhere. Thank you for having me, and I wish you continued success in all your endeavors. Now, I would love to hear your comments, reactions, and questions that are provoked for you. And what do you perceive to be your challenges in days ahead? Thank you.
Well, then I guess I'll go first because I was particularly touched. My name is Mark. I guess I shall be introduce myself as the Human Respect Director.
I'm sorry, it's a little hard to hear. I couldn't get the question, please. Sorry about that.
Here?
Yes, I can hear you now.
I was introducing myself.
Please come a little bit towards the camera so I can also see you. Thank you. There you are. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Mark, HR. I guess I want to say, I'd start off by saying thank you so much for your time. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Thank you for the insights that you've given us. As business leaders, I think we've established a whole new philosophy, a whole new understanding, and a spiritual aspect of leadership that is required of us. So I just want to say thank you so much for giving us your insights.
Mark, it's an honor and pleasure, and I'm truly sorry I tried to rename your department in my speech.
For a minute there, I thought I lost my job. But when you said you would need a human resource department, I was sure that there would be a restructuring next week.
I think, Mark, I think
department. I think, yeah, I'm still going to get a paycheck at the end of the month, so I'm good. But I appreciate that.
I think you got the way that you are. I think that you already know that you are running a human respect department and not human resources department. When you treat people like that, you already know this. So thank you very much for listening to me. What a pleasure it is to meet you.
Anyone else with a comment, question?
Hi, Sachiv. Good afternoon.
What's your
Thank you so
name,
much.
please? Come again.
My name is Edie Sabrina. Edie Sabrina.
Edie,
Edie, yeah.
Edie Koyum.
So,
Yes.
So from your talk, I think one thing that's I carry from this was the fact that we need to be working for something that is bigger than ourselves, right? Other than us focusing on getting money and getting our targets, I think we're also working for something that is bigger than ourselves. So yeah, that's really super for me. So thank you so much.
Honor and pleasure is mine, Edie Koyuma. What a treat. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Sakeet.
Hello.
To talk. My name is Levi. I work in the New Ventures team, which is at the heart of innovation. My comments is actually relate to the human respect that you mentioned, just about respecting colleagues, respecting customers, and humanizing the whole innovation process, so that we're not just looking at spreadsheets, but thinking about the people that we're impacting and the people we're working with. So yeah, that's my take on. This is how I look at it.
Yes. Honor and pleasure. Honor and pleasure. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Harrison from the customer service team. You talked more about dignity, and we are financial service, and a lot of our customers are paying, for example, on a monthly basis. So when you're talking in terms of dignity, I'd like to, for you to add more or share your thoughts, especially in terms of customer engagement and debt. Like a specific question would be, is harassment a means to debt collection, or how can we dignify our collection and our engagement with our customers?
Yeah, it's very good question. Tell me your name again. I want to make sure that I catch it correctly.
My name is Harrison.
Harrison.
Yeah.
Harrison. Okay, Harrison. Harrison, that is a fantastic question. You know, you are in the payments business. So how do you handle non-payments? How do you handle disputes? Turns out that I have built and sold a payment system startup before. So I have some experience in my past about this. You have to handle disputes and you have to handle people that do not pay. But it is how you're being. When some customer misses the first installment, do they receive a super threatening letter from you to saying, hey, what a terrible person you are that you've missed this payment? Or your tone is that, hey, we are concerned about you. What's going on? We want to talk to you about how we can help you. What are the situations and circumstances? When you reach to someone that says, hey, what are the situations and circumstances? What's going on with you that you have missed this payment? We are worried about you as a company. We are concerned about you. What can we do? Can we make a new arrangement together? That is very different. Here in the United States, we have built all these organizations. I pay my bank mortgage for 23 years. I miss one payment and there's a 30-day late notice that looks like I'm going to go to jail. So what dignity here? What relationship here? You don't want to copy the Western organizations that have built in the last 30 years these rule-based automatic things where the threats begin to go as soon as they are paying you, you have a smiley face. The moment they miss one payment and they are 30-day late, you take your gun out, you take your sword out, and you go after them like they are criminals. Of course, you have to get in touch with them. Of course, you have to have conversations. But humanizing that interaction, remembering they're also human beings on the other end. How do you deal with that? Now, you also talk about harassment. When people call you and some customers react with you, how you be. Of course, you can say to someone, whether that's your customer or within inside your company, if there's a harassment going on, one colleague is harassing the other, what do? You go to that colleague and say, listen, this is below you. This is not acceptable. This is against your own dignity, your own value. We value dignity and respect here, and you're acting like this. This is not dignified and respectful. I am sorry, we will not stand for this. It's not about what you do, but it's about how you be. Most times what happens, we get very concerned about what to do and setting up rule-based automatic systems. You don't want to do that. You want to focus more in your job as the head of customer service, that how you are being, with what mood you bring to the table. If you bring a mood of anger and frustration to the table, whatever you're going to say to your customer is going to reflect that. But if you bring a mood of care and dignity and respect to the table and say the thing that needs to be said and treat them like human beings, then they will actually appreciate it. Even you may have to foreclose on something, you have to take legal action. You tell them, look, you have broken a promise. We have given you chances to repair that promise, and now we are going to take legal action, and so on and so forth. Does that help provide some early insights into the question you're asking? Okay, very good. If you go to my blog, it's a little hard to hear because of the speakerphone is very bombastic. But if you go to my blog on my website, concevian.com, there is an article that the why startups fail, and there is another article that I've written about the difference between way of being and way of doing. I think that you would really benefit from listening or reading to that article. I'll send Michael a link to that, and you can take a look at it. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Saki. I have another question here around, we're talking about dignity, respect, and how to be customer-centric. With your background, especially having worked in tech and AI for quite some time, how does that factor in your mind, especially when building products and technology for the customers? How do you view those principles? Because it's very easy to probably just think about building a great product, but how do we take that approach when building products for our customers as well?
If you want to produce quality in your products, you have to set the standards. What I'm asking you is not to become, at this crucial stage in your company, not to become a rule-based organization that try to work with each other in an automated way. If you work with each other in an automated way and you don't have respect and dignity for each other, the little resentments that grow in the team, they will start to show up as mistakes in your products. You already know, that is a different conversation about how do you innovate in products. But innovation, we also said dignity and respect and the value of listening. Oftentimes, we only want to listen to our great visions, right? We come up with a great vision and we get very stuck to that great vision. Your great vision is a start point of a conversation with your customers. Like I said to you, if you want to build innovative products and services, you have to be willing to listen to deep resignations that no one is willing to listen to. Before, for example, Facebook came to market, everybody knows, you're all actually too young to remember, maybe before the time Facebook came to market, everybody knew that the way to do social networking is through MySpace. That's what everybody knew. Before Google came to market, you're also maybe too young to remember. Before Google came to market, everybody knew there were great search engines. There were Alta Vista and Web Crawler and other fantastic search engines. Everybody knew that that's how things are done. And if somebody would have said, well, what about things to be done this way? Everybody will say, no, nobody do it that way. So when you begin to hear those things in your industry where everybody knows that's just how the things are, that is your start point for innovation of your products and services. When you go after deep resignation, you have the chance of bringing innovation to market that no one is doing. Does that provide some early insights, Michael? That could be actually, Michael, if you're interested in that topic, that could very well be a whole conversation about how do you innovate in your products and services. But in the interest of time, maybe I'll pause here. But tell me, does that give you a start point?
Yeah, it definitely does. And I think also for our team here, because we have members of our technical team and our product team as well, it gives them a lot of food for thought in terms of how they innovate in that.
Questions, comments? So, just as a quick question, are there particular philosophies that you believe in, like the trendy ones like Kaizen, or the more the Kaizen philosophies, or the more any more intricate ones that you believe in or you would recommend for us to absorb or to look into or to read at our own time?
Yeah, very good question. Very good question. Oh, this is such a fantastic question, actually. I can see that your team is this full of brilliant people and marvelous minds, and you're asking all the right question. Here is what I want to say to you. Kanban is fine, Kanban is fine, Kaizen is fine, lean startup, they're all fine. Scrum, Agile, all you already know all these latest things. What I warn you is not to try to adopt some kind of an approach dogmatically, like without thinking of how to appropriate. Recently, I think there was a time a few years ago, Taiichi Ono, who is the founder of Toyota, who invented really the lean methodology. There is a company here, car company, that brought Taiichi Ono to their factory, and they were so proud, and they asked Taiichi Ono, please take a look at our processes. And can you see that, have we implemented lean properly? And Taiichi Ono said, I don't know. Lean is not about having a certain process, like you do 5-minute process like this and 10-minute process like this, and then you listen to everyone. Avoid becoming robots at every moment. One time, Taiichi Ono, you remind me of a story. He was walking through he was doing an inspection. He's an old man. So he was doing inspection of factory in Japan. And the Japanese culture is very respectful. This old man he's got his hands behind him, and he's walking this very, very slowly, and he's looking in factory, and they have all implemented lean. And there's a whole, like a team of 50 Japanese guys and girls in black suits behind him, all very quiet walking. Suddenly, he comes to a place when he sees a tiny little piece of paper under one of the machines. Now he's an old man, and he stops. The whole line stops behind him, and he slows down, and he's now bending down slowly. And the whole factory is watching in horror as Taiichi, the friend of mine actually related this to me, who was in the factory at that time. And he bends down, and he goes down by himself. Nobody dares to help him because they know what has happened. There's a little piece of paper that is under that machine. And he reaches his hand and he picks this piece of paper out. And now he takes he knows what he's doing. He takes whole 2 minutes to get up from the floor And he looks around and all the hundreds of hands go right in front, and he puts the piece of paper in one hand and quietly he start walking. What did Taiichi Ono did in this case? He set the standard. He said, this is the standard. This is what's not tolerated. So it's not about this philosophy or that philosophy. It's not about you guys do whatever you think is the right thing to do, but change it, modify it, think about it. Is it producing happiness or frustration about your people? I have consulted with so many teams that have implemented Agile and Scrum and Lean and Kanban and Kaizen, and they're disasters. They are not listening to each other. They have no respect to each other. They respect the process and the framework. They think the framework is the God. Framework is not the God. That's my first reaction to what you're asking. We are also inventing some new approach in Concevian, and Michael, and I think we're going to invite some of your founders to come study with me next month. So I'll share more about the processes we are inventing, but it's not really about this philosophy or that. It's about building this capacity of deep care that's rooted in listening, in respect for each other, and change the process, make it your own. I helped a lot of Chinese companies in the past. I have spent some time in China. And one thing I warned the Chinese, which I will warn the same thing to you. What happens that Chinese saw 30 years ago, 40 years ago, American enterprises so successful that they want to copy dot by dot exactly the same thing that American companies have done. I say to the Chinese, you only see the brilliance and the glory of the American companies. You don't see the disaster and the corruption and the dysfunction. You know, here in the United States, we have this thing that 95% of the startups fail. They fail at Series B, Series C, Series D rounds of funding. All the best people, all the great money, hundreds of millions of dollars, they still fail. They fail because of Americans. We Americans, we ended up closing our eyes, closing our ears, and we just want to automate everything. We think that in automation, we will create great future. So a lot of failure happens that way. You don't want to adopt the mistakes of the Americans. You don't want to implement any methodology and push through, like I said in my speech, with blind ideas, forcefully push the ideas. You want to bring some philosophy, Kanban is fine, bring it to your people, give your people opportunity to say, okay, how we can innovate here, what we can change about this. Does that work? Does that not work? Is that enough for you? Is everyone feel heard and listened to? Are we making a mistake? This is the golden heart of your company. If you build this kind of a culture, if you adopt some philosophy, it's working. If it's not working, throw it out and bring another one. But never believe that some philosophy is going to save you or turn you into a big thing. I was at Microsoft, global release manager of a $1 billion product, SQL Server, at Microsoft, and we built the whole thing with spreadsheets. We didn't have any of these fancy tools and project management. The whole thing was spreadsheets, phone calls, and visiting each other and listening to each other. And yeah, we made a lot of mistakes and a lot of things were missing. But that kind of a culture, it really depended on relationships and focus on building relationships with each other. Does that help? Does that provide some early insight, please?
Yes, it does. It provides a bit of clarity. I appreciate that. Thank you. One comment, question?
Okay, I think that this. I think we have done some kind of damage here, but it's a good damage. Destroying common sense is a good thing. Common sense is a coffin. You don't want to live in common sense. You want to keep inventing new senses, new rules. You want to become an organization that learns how to learn. Okay, that's it then. Okay, Michael, anything we need to say? Otherwise, if you let me go on, I will take up the rest of your evening. And I think people are beginning to become hungry. So I think it's good time we bring this to close.
Yeah, thanks for that, Sakib. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you for taking the time. I know it's quite early there. Hopefully you get a chance to interact more with the team. And of course, with the emerging leadership programs that Considian is doing, we'll probably recommend a lot more to our management and senior leaders here, because there's a lot to learn, a lot to grow, a lot to question. And Sakib and his great team have been running Considian. I've been a beneficiary, Claudian has been a beneficiary so far. Actually, Julian and I graduated, I think, today, so it's not for us. So it's something that we also want to recommend to a lot of people here. And they're very, very important educational processes. And it's not really just about learning, it's also about unlearning, right? So we formed a lot of preconceived notions, a lot of truths, a lot of interesting concepts around moods and how moods are even determine our productivity. So there's a lot to learn, and I don't think as leaders we stop growing or stop learning. So hopefully, Sakib, you will take a few more of our team members. You'll also get a chance to meet my co-founder. And yeah, looking forward to talking to you again.
Okay, thank you. Let's discuss further. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everybody. What a treat, what a treat. What a pleasure to meet you. Bye-bye.
Bye.